We are about a month away from Starfield Direct, and as you can imagine, things are pretty sparse on the ground when it comes to new information, but we have actually now found out what the ESRB rating is going to be for Starfield, and boy did they release a few little snippets that definitely require having a further look into. So, the Entertainment Software Rating Board, the ESRB, have given Starfield a mature rating. And that means it's basically going to be a 17 plus. For those of us on my side of the pond, it's basically the PEGI system, so mature is going to be an 18 rated game. You can see here that the main reasons that they've given it this rating is it's got blood, strong language, suggestive themes, use of drugs, and violence. And then we get to a bit just under here, which is one of my biggest concerns for Starfield. In-game purchases on the PC and the Xbox Series. And I don't want there to be massive amounts of microtransactions in this game. I really hope there's not. But there's nothing actually in the ESRB rating about what the microtransactions can be, so we can only have that left to our imagination. And I can imagine there's people like me who are swinging between, oh my god, this is going to be absolutely horrifying, and they'll be asking us for money for everything, to people who would just be like, it's okay, it's probably just creation content. I'm really worried that they're going to try and monetize this game to the point of stupidity, but we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so I don't want to dwell on the negative bit about that microtransactions too much. Let's just have a bit more of an in-depth look at what the rating summary is for the game. So, I'm just going to read out what they've said. This is an open-world, role-playing game in which players assume the role of a miner tasked with finding artifacts across the galaxy. From first to third-person perspectives, players interact with various characters, complete quests, and search for supplies while battling enemies, e.g. humans, robots, alien creatures. Okay, so this first bit, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It doesn't really tell us much more about the game than we already know. We know we're a miner because we discover the artifact. I like how it does kind of confirm that we can flip between first and third person perspective. That's great. And we knew that we would be interacting with lots of characters, completing quests and searching for supplies. And we know that the enemies are going to be humans, robots, and alien creatures. It doesn't really bring anything new to the table, this part. Players use futuristic guns, lasers, axes, and explosives to kill enemies. The combat is fast-paced with frequent gunfire, cries of pain, and explosions. Attacks on some enemies can result in blood splatter effects. Several environments depict bloodstains on the grounds around corpses. Now, I know that there was a lot of people who were wondering what was going to happen with blood splatter, because obviously it's a game where in the trailers they're not showing a huge amount. I still think it's probably going to be minimal on release, and it's probably going to be up to the modding community to give us the blood pools that all of us bloodthirsty people are looking for. The confirmation that there's going to be axes in the game still, I'm pretty sure we saw one in one of the trailers. I need to go back and see if I can find it. But yeah, futuristic guns, lasers, axes, and explosives. I mean, it's exactly what we were expecting. Bit disappointed there's no swords in there. I wouldn't mind having like a power sword to chib my enemies with, but you know, it's not a fantasy game. But yeah, so it's a standard sort of mature 18 rated game kind of expectation when it comes to combat here for me. This next bit is probably the biggest reveal for me in this entire rating summary, and it confirms something that I suspected would happen, but it's probably still going to disappoint people who wanted something more. The game contains some suggestive material in the dialogue, and after sharing a bed with characters, for example, life is a sexually transmitted disease that's 100% fatal, I'm all for getting a little wild, but next time let's try it without jetpacks. Talk about seeing stars, phew, that was amazing. So basically this confirms that we're going to actually be able to have relationships with our characters, and there will be the insinuation that we were going to have sex with those characters. However, I would urge people to expect things to be incredibly tame when it comes to this. I'm talking like you're going to be looking at a character and it's going to go, hey, shall we go to bed? Fade to black. fades back from black and you're still looking at the character and going, hey, that was a really nice time, don't you think? Because we already knew from the Australian age rating that there's no sex. There is none. It even shows it here. You know, nudity, very, very mild impact. You know, so the most that we can take away from this is that, yes, we can have a relationship with our characters, but you're not going to be able to bang silly like you see in Cyberpunk. It is probably going to be the most PG sex scenes that we'll have ever seen in a video game, and I wouldn't be surprised if it literally was you just pressing a button and it fades to black and comes back in and it's exactly the same screen that you left at, but you're like, hey, that was fun, did you enjoy that? Yeah, I enjoyed that too. Let's just leave the jetpacks at home next time. Modders are going to have a field day with this one though, I can imagine. The last section talks about the fictional drug Aurora. You know, it's prominent in the game with a section involving players' characters working in an illicit drug lab. Players can also obtain Aurora by stealing or buying it from vendors. Consuming Aurora results in a distortion effect on the screen. And a little throw in at the end here, the words fucking bullshit appear in the game. Which, you know, it's nice that they're going to have some adult language. But yeah, we knew that the drug was going to be in the game. I mean, it's Neon's like major part of the game. I mean, it is the place where the fish drug is created and we get to, you know, do stuff. It's nice that they actually have stated that we can actually work in an illicit drug lab. So I wonder like how in depth that's going to allow us to be. And also the fact that, you know, we can steal it or we can buy it from vendors. And I hope that this distortion effect that they're going to have is not going to be too crazy. I mean, it annoys me when my screen starts getting distorted a lot, which is probably why I don't, you know, use the drugs in games most often, because I want to be able to see what I'm doing. Although I played characters before in Skyrim, you know, skooma addicts, or Fallout with, you know, consume every drug that you can possibly get your hand on. But it's not my favourite way of playing the game, so to be honest, out of this last section, the bit I'm most interested in is not the fact that there's the swear words that are in it. I want to know if they've created any new swear words, because that's something I always love in, you know, anything like game-wise or TV shows, movies, when they actually create new words where you can end up sitting there hearing someone going frack or frail or suddenly bursting into Chinese. This last section just definitely though just kind of confirms things that players already knew were going to be in the game. So again, didn't bring anything amazingly new to the table, but it's nice to have some confirmation about what we can expect. Okay, that's the wrap up of the ESRB rating. We're getting a mature rated game. Fantastic. It's within my expectations of what I have for the game already, so I'm pretty happy with it. But how do you guys feel about what we've seen in this rating? Do you think that they are missing the mark? Are you disappointed that you're not going to be able to do more with the characters that you romance? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Hawkins, thank you very much for watching the video. If you have got to the end here, please do think about liking and subscribing to the channel, as it does help me out quite a bit, and we are pushing towards that 400 mark, and I would love to get over there. But until the next video, which I'm working on right now, another Starfield video, as it is a month away until the showcase, and I do have some questions, and I'm sure you guys too. So if you've got any questions that you want from the showcase, let me know about those too. But until the next video, take care.